Hi, my name is Dale Maley. I'd like to tell you about my very interesting journey on how I learned how to make steam bent clocks. Some background: back in 2012 I saw an ad and I bought a Rockler steam generator. And I thought, boy, this would be easy to bend wood. However, I ended up breaking every single piece I tried to steam bend. I was so mad and frustrated, I put that new steam box on the shelf and let it sit for 4 years. I kept reading newspaper articles or woodworking articles, and I stumbled across an article that said the secret of bending wood, in my case kiln dried wood, was to soak it for a week in water and Downy fabric softener before you try to steam bend it. Once I learned that trick, I was able to make 2 of these type of steam bent clocks. I did a lot of experiments back in 2012, and I learned several things. I learned about soaking the wood first in water and Downy fabric softener for a week. I also learned that when you're going to bend a piece of wood, steam bend it, your final design, both ends ought to be secured, not free floating. Because if you don't secure them, one end is probably going to bend over time. You also need to use a steel bending strap to help you when you bend it after you soaked it in the steam box. And then you put it in a drying form, but that's not the finished design. You actually have to allow for what's called spring back after it's dried and you take it out of the form. And that's really trial and error, trying to figure out the right geometry for that fixture, the drying fixture. You can see all this in my other YouTube video about secrets of steam bending wood. So back then I went on the internet, did a general search, and I found this shape of steam bent clock, and I thought, that's something I want to try. So I came up with my own design and modified it, but it's similar to this picture I found on the internet. Now I use the free drafting program SketchUp, so here's what my version of that design looked like, which is slightly modified from that other image I just showed you. But this is the final design that I ended up building. And here are some of the key dimensions for the steam bent clocks that I built. Here are some more key dimensions. And the steam bent U-shaped pieces of wood, 2 of them, they're roughly about 12 inches tall. Now here's an exploded view of my design for the steam bent clock. And I have 2 dials in there so you can slide the front clock face off to change batteries or change the time. Now my white oak blanks to make the U-shaped steam bent parts, they're 28.5 inches long, so I had to build a longer steam box. It's not a big deal, you just make the steam box out of scrap plywood and then use a hinge door on the front. So here's my longer one for this project. Now remember, I said there's some trial and error involved getting your drying fixture made. Here's a drawing of my drying fixture. The steam bend part is shown in yellow. So it'll probably take you a couple of experiments before you figure out the correct geometry. For my steel bending strap, I started out using 1 piece of 3/4 inch wide plumber strap, and I ended up having to go to 2 pieces to really cover the entire face of the steam bent parts. Here's a neat photo of steam rolling out of the steam box when I have the hinge door open. And be sure and wear gloves whenever you're working around the active steam box or taking out the steam bent parts. Steam is really hot, so you need to wear gloves. Here you can see the thermometer that's stuck down inside the steam box, and you can't really see it, but it's reading 212 degrees F, as it should. Here's a photo showing my entire steam bending setup as I was doing this project. In the little blue plastic box on the bottom left is the Rockler steam generator, feeding the steam up into my scrap plywood steam box, and the hinge door on the right hand side where you take the parts in or unload them. Now here's a photo of one of the white oak pieces after it had been soaking for a week in water and Downy fabric softener, and it's the brown piece on top. You can almost see on the where it's cut, the cross section, you can almost see how deep the water penetrated into the oak. And in this case, the blanks were 3/8 thick, 1.5 wide, and 28.5 inches long. So here's a photo after I've taken the white oak out of the steam box and then bent it. And then here's the drying fixture. It's white oak, it's 3/8 thick. It was kiln dried wood originally. It's 1.5 wide. And notice how much spring back there's going to be when it finally you dry it, take the clamps off and remove it. The bottom piece is going to spring back almost to the point of making a perfect U. So you can see that you have to allow a lot for spring back. Now I started with one piece of 3/4 inch wide plumber strap for my steel assistance on the bending setup, and you can see the marks of it in the center there. It actually left a bulge then on the outside of the steel bending clamp. You can maybe see it on the left hand side of the photograph. So I had to go to 2 pieces, so 2 times 3/4 inch wide is 1.5 inches, which is how thick the piece is it's being steam bent. On this photo you can see where I'm installing the second piece of plumber strap, held in there with roofing nails on that side. Once I went to double wide, which matches the width of the board, then I had no more bulges on the outside as I steam bent it. Now here's a photo. So far I've steam bent it, put it in the drying fixture and let it dry, and here I've taken it out. And you can see it's not quite a perfect U, but with a little bit of bending on the bottom, it'll be just fine. You can also notice that the lengths on the right hand side are not exactly the same. Not a big deal on this project because the height is not critical. So as you'll see, I ended up sawing the ends off so they're the same length. So here's the setup I used to saw both ends to make them exactly the same, and it worked pretty nicely. I suppose I could have done more trial and error and changed the drying fixture such that they were almost exactly the same length, but in this case I didn't have to do that. I could just saw them off and use them. So I had to make little tenons on the ends of the steam bent piece so they would fit into mortises in the bottom base piece. So I was able to use the router table to help me make those tenons as shown here. I used my old Delta mortising machine to cut the mortises in the base for where the steam bent legs go down into the base. In this photo I'm just doing a dry fit to make sure the 2 U-shaped steam bent pieces fit down in the base okay. Then I'm just holding up what will be the clock face, and at that point I knew it's going to be a nice clock. Now I got my pendulum movement from a company called Clockit up in Wisconsin, but many years later they've discontinued this. So on any clock project I would suggest go ahead and get your movement works, pendulum, get all that stuff first in hand, then design your clock around that movement. You never know when they're going to be discontinued and not available. This photo just shows what clock face style I got and what hands I got. You can find these from various suppliers on Amazon or on the internet. I think at this point I had all the parts sanded, and I did one more dry fit just to make sure the 2 U-shaped steam bent pieces fit nicely down in the mortises in the base. Now I printed out paper patterns where the mortises go on the base from SketchUp, glued them on with white Elmer's glue, went to the mortising machine and mortised them, then just took a wet rag and rubbed the remaining paper and Elmer's glue off the base piece. I used a 1/8 of an inch roundover bit on the router table just to round the edges off of the steam bent pieces a little bit. Once I got my bending strap made with a plumber strap, I took one of the pieces before I steam bent it. After it's soaked for a week, you can see the brown piece. And I just put that in my fixture to make sure everything lined up okay before I actually steam bent it, then put it in this fixture to do the physical bend. And again, this blank was 28.5 inches long. Now this piece here holds the clock mechanism, and I designed it to be 1 inch thick. So I had to buy some beefier scroll saw blades to be able to saw the ID out of this 1 inch thick white oak for the clock face. The clock movement I used needed 3/16 of an inch thickness for mounting it, so I glued the 1 inch thick board we just looked at a minute ago, and I glued that to a piece of 3/16 inch thick to form the right geometry to hold the clock movement. So I used what's called a follower bit with a bearing to make sure that my 3/16 inch thick piece, the outside diameter of that, exactly matches the OD of the 1 inch thick donut. These follower bits really work nice. Here's another photo of the router table showing that follower bit that I use to make the parts have exactly the same outside diameter. Now in that wood ring that holds the clock movement, I needed to remove some material to give clearance for the pendulum to swing. So I clamped it in the drill press, then I used a 2 inch Forstner bit to cut the clearance for the pendulum. And that actually worked pretty nice, as you can see from the picture. Now in this photo I'm just checking to make sure the pendulum has enough clearance so it swings okay, and it did. So other than the challenges of figuring out steam bending and the right geometry for the drying fixture, one of the other major challenges was how do you connect the round wooden parts that hold the clock movement, how do you attach that to the two U-shaped steam bent pieces? So here's my method I came up with, was two small pieces at just the right angles to match up. And I have a pin nailer, so that helped me a lot when I glued up those pieces to hold them in the right geometry. Then I have two dowels that let you carefully slide the round clock part to the left to change batteries or change the time, and then slide it back over the dowels to put it back together again. And that method actually works pretty good. So for this project I used an oil stain. It's called Czar Teak color. So I stained it with a rag, wiped it off. Then I put on several coats of clear satin polyurethane to finish it. And here's some photographs of the finished clocks. I built two of these. They are really very nice looking and unusual clocks. So some closing thoughts on this project. Once you know the secret of soaking the wood in water and Downy fabric softener for a week before you steam bend it, the other hardest thing is you have to do trial and error to get the drying fixture right to allow for spring back after it's completely dried. And it was a little tough for me to get the exact lengths right, but it didn't really matter on this project. But if it matters on your project, you might have to do more trial and error to try to get both ends the same length. And the movements last roughly 10 years before they wear out. And then in my case I had to go find another supplier on the internet to replace them. So in summary, this video explains how I made two steam bent white oak clocks. Hopefully this project gives you some ideas and helps you on your projects. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.